and arriving at a conclusion. If the Honorable Home Minister can
Please, on the mic. Please connect with the
Mic on. Sir, mic on.
Malvinder Singh Kange.
Speaker ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ सर ਤੁਹਾਡਾ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
ये तो मैं तय करूंगा ना, ये आप थोड़ी तय करोगे।
स्पीकर साहब
हाँ
स्पीकर साहब
आपका नंबर भी आया नहीं, बोल लेना आप।
All right, you heard from the Home Minister. We are having this conversation and we need to situate it, and the faster we situate it is better. There is, some would say, an inherent logic in principle. There is, you could argue, a mathematical certainty to what is being discussed. So, where is the room for ambiguity? Some would go on to say that in the end it all boils down to one thing in a democracy, that do the numbers add up. You need a 2/3 majority in both houses of parliament. There is an option that if the bill to amend the constitution to allow for the delimitation, which then would subsume the 33% reservation for women within it, that you could call a joint session of both houses and pass it that way. Unlikely to happen, but the constitutional viability of that does exist. So, now let us boil it down to the Lok Sabha, and there you have it, the numbers on your screen, and they matter. They do matter. It comes down to this, that you need 2/3 of all members present and voting. There are 540 sitting MPs. There are 3 vacancies due to obituaries. So, 540 sitting MPs, which would mandate you would need 360 MPs in the Lok Sabha to vote in favor of this bill, or you would need a large chunk of people to be missing in parliament, which can happen and does happen. Therefore, the number for the 2/3 majority would go down. Now, this got through in 2023, remember. The addendum this time is the delimitation, which the government says will implement the women's reservation as well as increase seats across the board. Now, who's opposed it? The Congress has opposed it. The DMK is burning the bill as we speak. Mamata Banerjee has opposed it. She faces elections in a few days. You have the left that has opposed it, not the biggest stakeholders in parliament, but Akhilesh, who does have a chunk of MPs, all 37, 38 of them, has opposed it. Okay. The big conversation has been, is the NDA intact at this point of time? It seems yes, because the mathematical certainty of this guarantees 50% seats to all states. Therefore, Chandrababu Naidu is able to see the light of the day. But where do we go from here? On the numbers, on the mathematics, on your screens. Let's pick up that conversation to the best that we can have it. Tanvi Purti on the broadcast with us, Vinita Hariharan joining us on the broadcast as well. Vinita ji, let me begin with you, because it's great to have the debate. It's brilliant in a democracy. I believe 18 hours of debate in this is planned in the Lok Sabha. So that's great to see. I'm assuming it will be 12 hours plus in the Rajya Sabha as well. So 30, 40 hours of debate will happen, discussion will happen. But in the end, it boils down to a vote. Now, do you think the numbers are pretty much sorted, that if they weren't sorted, the government would not have risked a special session of parliament to do this?
No, I think the strength of the proposal itself, the bill itself, is strong enough, and all aspects have been covered now. So it's a 360-degree solution that has been, framed up by the leaders. And what Arjun Megwalji today presented in the parliament also was not out of his hat formula. It was based on a constitutional tenet, the 81(2) article of the constitution. So it was not an arbit formula. It was based on the constitutional premise. So everything has been well thought of, as is the government, whenever it announces such a proposal, it's always well studied. It looks like it's unprecedented or it's just announced suddenly, but there's a lot of homework, there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of study that's gone behind it. That's how they've been able to come out with this magic formula, which I think will cater to all stakeholders' interests. It's a win-win solution that has been come up by the government.
Okay.
Okay,
But let's boil it down to the maths. In principle, we are all in agreement. But the mathematics matters in a democracy. Governments can survive and fall on one vote. Ask Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So the NDA, as you know, has more than 50% in the Lok Sabha. 292 is the figure. 293 now. Okay, is the figure. That would leave, if every single MP came to vote in the Lok Sabha, and that's not a guarantee, most likely, probably not. But if every single MP came and voted, they would still need 67 votes from somewhere. Now, where are they going to come from? It remains an open question. So, who are the other third parties? The third parties are Jagan, he's got 4. The Aam Aadmi Party, which is not part of the Congress-led front, has got 3. The AIMIM, which is Owaisi, that's not happening pretty much sure. The Shiromani Akali Dal has 1 MP. You have the ZPM and there are a couple of independents. Okay, so you can maybe have 3 or 4 from here. So you're still short of 60. So if you're still short of 60, either you are hoping that the Congress, the SP, the Trinamool and the DMK will not show up. You will have to also hope that Sharad Pawar is with you, may not be, that the RJD is with you, may not be, and a few of the smaller parties are with you. So it almost hinges, and let me try to get Tanvi into this conversation, it almost hinges on the bottom line that several of these MPs will either abstain or will not vote, because they maybe can't support the bill, but they certainly politically will not be able to oppose this either, because this is the arc of history pointing us in this direction, both in the number of parliamentary seats and both in the reservation of women. I don't know how an MP sits there and votes against these bills and then goes back and justifies it to whoever has to vote with them. Tanvi, on the conversation with Tanvi, but it does boil down to the numbers. 60 extra seats to get a 2/3 majority in the Lok Sabha. Slightly more complicated even further in the Rajya Sabha. Not straightforward. Is the government simply hoping that a lot of these people walk out because they just simply can't vote against this? Okay, I'm guessing that connection is not working. So let me put that question to Rekha Sharma. Rekha ji, if you can hear us, is that the plan in hope, ma'am? That the government has the numbers pretty comfortably in hand?